Another museum. I'm unhinged. No, this is actually Micropia. It's really close to my hostel, and I realized I had still like 1 or 2 more hours before leaving for the airport. So this is literally part of the Artis complex. The Artis is kind of like a zoo, which also has some associated museums, and this one is particularly dedicated to microscopic lives, or like they call it, microbes. Perhaps that's a little bit hot than original term. I'm not sure. I've never heard them called microbes in a scientific context, but microorganisms. And I'm not really sure I'm going to film this one because it's all really dark, but like mostly everything here it costs $17. Yes, well, everything here costs slightly less than $20, usually 17. They always prefer if you buy it on the internet. There is usually a place where you can buy physical here, but here, for example, it's more expensive. It's 3 euros cheaper if you buy it on the internet. So the most interesting part here is nevertheless having access to their high power microscopes, which you can usually control with some kind of joystick. You can also see it on the side table here, the same view you can get from the microscope. And they also have like the laboratory where they grow these organisms here, and also an assortment of other things from an ant colony, for example. And many places where you can actually see the microscopic version of things. So for example, by turning here, their tardigrade mascot, and look here, another GI piece, another gut piece, and of course a poor little giraffe. And there are many petri dishes here. You descend from it here in this ground level room where there are many other pieces. Some of the most interesting for me personally, of course, are these 3D depictions of many pathogens. I had seen many models of these beasts before, but never in 3D, like this Giardia lamblia, for example, malaria. Which one is this one? Salmonella typhimurium, MRSA, smallpox, H4 bacteriophage, Ebola, and HIV. And throughout all the entire experience, you are supposed to like they can create whole entire families in under 1 minute. They can live in boiling water. Get this done. And they eat all kinds of things like and then later, at the end of the visit, you can come here where you can insert the card and scan it. Did you tell which one you found and how many? And so this is a really small museum you can easily visit in less than an hour, and as I mentioned, it's part of the Artis complex, which also includes the Artis Zoo and a bunch of other museums and places here. It's like it's basically a zoo with some attached museums. This one, like I said, it's a quite short museum. I would say it's probably more interesting for children. Children are likely to like it. You get to collect the microbes and to see the things perhaps adolescents, also someone studying biology at secondary level, not necessarily a university student of biology, but it's interesting enough. I would say that as many other museums, my recommendation is if you're just around here or if you live here and you want to check it out, go ahead. Now, if you're coming to the Netherlands, you're most likely coming to visit the Zanshans or something like that, not a local museum. I'm sorry. Not a local museum, not a very niche. Now, on to the airport. So this is definitely going to be the last video in this trip. Thank you for joining me and stay with me until the end. And I hope I can meet you again in the next time, right from the airport.